How's it guys, this is Dayvy FPL and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video we're going to be talking about the best team for double game week 24. This was a series that I started a couple of game weeks ago. I think it was game week 20 that we started doing this video, so apologies for not creating another best team since then, but you know how it's been like with these game week deadlines, absolutely stacked deadlines on top of each other, and I would rather get the previews and the team selections out than the best teams. But now that we've got a week between the deadlines, I'll be returning to this series as I think it's quite an informative video, especially with these double game weeks coming up. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at who my best squad would be for game week 24. You can kind of think of it as a free it slash a best 11, not really a wildcard draft. I will be talking about those of you who are on your wildcard, what you should be doing, but I won't be going into a specific wildcard draft in this video. If I do create wildcard drafts in the future, I will list them as a wildcard draft, but the best teams, you can kind of think of them more as a free it side, going over the best 11 going into that specific game week, because the reason why that's quite good is that you can base your free transfers on that. If you're using your free it, you can use it as this team, but also just for the future, taking a look at who the best players, who the dream team should be per se for that specific game week. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So before we talk about the fixtures and the team selection going on to that double game week 24, I'm going to be going over some admin here. So no, this is not for me to flex that I finally have over 100 million in selling value. Just being able to pass that 100k mark. If you remember in the previous video, it was sitting about that 99.9 mark. So finally the team value looks to be going up a bit. Now this is not my team value, this is my selling value. So if I sell every single player in my current squad, this is the money that I'm left with. This is just kind of for admin purposes, because a lot of people say, Dayvy, I can either afford this draft with about 12 million to spare, or they say I'm 13 million short, what should I do? So if you have more money, simply just upgrade. If you don't have enough money, I don't think you will this week, because game week 24 doesn't have a lot of the big hitters. Spurs play Man City, so Son and Kane are out there. Kevin De Bruyne, as of recording this video, is still out, and you're definitely not going to be looking at Mo Salah with the form that Liverpool are in. So I don't think you guys are going to have too much worries about team value, but this is just for admin purposes to avoid those comments down below. So now getting onto the double game week 24 fixtures, what I've got on screen here is similar to what I did in the video yesterday. I've simply taken the single game week fixtures for double game week 24, and we're first going to be talking about them, because if you're looking at the best side going into that double game week 24, a single game week team might actually perform better than the double game weeks. So don't get too sided on those double players. Also look at the single game week fixtures, because as I said, they might still outperform your double game week options. So the first game is probably the best of the lot. It's going to be Manchester United versus West Bromwich Albion. So a player like Bruno Fernandes should be someone you're looking at, maybe even for a captaincy potential option going into double game week 24. As West Brom, they've been absolutely atrocious defensively. United seem from an attacking point of view to be on a good run of form here. I know they did have that 3-3 draw to Everton, but Everton are also quite good of a side, so I'm not looking too much into that. Maybe not from a defensive point of view, I'd look at United, but definitely from an attacking point of view. We've seen Cavani pick up a bit of form there. Players like Rashford always go on these streaks, so definitely keep your eyes on those Man United assets. The next one is Arsenal versus Leeds. Now while Leeds kept a clean sheet, finally, for the first time in a while in my own kind of memory, they might have kept a clean sheet before that, but I never kind of know Leeds to keep clean sheets, and I am a Dallas owner myself. But against Arsenal, this could be a good fixture for Arsenal and Leeds. I think that it's probably better for the Arsenal side of things, as although Leeds did keep that clean sheet against Crystal Palace, I reckon that Arsenal could get a few in this. If I had to kind of predict my result for this game, I probably would say a ton of goals for both sides. So if you're maybe looking for some differentials, Arsenal players are quite lowly owned, so you could look at them. Then next, West Ham versus Sheffield United, purely from a more defensive option, as I don't think this game is going to be too high scoring. That doesn't mean Antonio or Souček are bad options. I just think I would favor the defense of West Ham a little bit more. So a player like Soufal, Cresswell, having that attacking threat and the defensive threat is, I think, going to be quite key in this fixture. And then finally, Chelsea versus Newcastle. If you are using a free it or a wild card, maybe sneak a couple of Chelsea options in there. They are mega differentials at this stage of the season, just because a player like Timo Werner hasn't really performed, but maybe against Newcastle he suddenly bangs a hat-trick and then is suddenly the talk of the town. I don't think I'll be looking at too many Chelsea options, but when analysing the fixtures, I definitely think that Chelsea game versus Newcastle should be quite a comfortable win for the blue side of London. Now going on to the double game week fixtures, which is what you guys are all talking about. So we have Burnley, Fulham, Everton and Man City or with a double in double game week 24. In terms of the fixtures, I definitely think Burnley have the best two fixtures. Crystal Palace, Fulham. I think I always favor the defensive side of Burnley to the attacking side because the stats from an attacking point of view aren't really that favorable for those Burnley attackers. So a double up, maybe even a triple up in that Burnley defense could be a situation if you're looking at the best side for double game week 24. Man City, we don't have to talk about them much. I know those fixtures, Spurs and Everton, aren't looking that favorable, but it is Man City, or one of the most fixture-proof sides in the Prem. So I'm backing them to get some results here. I'm not too keen on going with a double up or a triple up in that defense because they are facing Spurs and Everton, who really love to have that counter attack. And that's kind of the exact way Man City are going to allow them to play because they're going to have a ton of possession. We're going to see Spurs and Everton counter attacking for days against them, and that could lead to a potential goal. So maybe not a double up in the defense, but definitely one of the defenders is going to be key. And then I would look at completing that Man City triple up with two attackers. You could always go for a double up in defense. It's not the end of the world. I just favor the attack, and not just because of that 4-1 result against Liverpool. It's always hard to predict who's going to be playing for Man City. So imagine how hard it's going to be to predict who starts both games in a double game week. So the final two teams, they're Fulham. I'm not going to talk about them too much. I don't think I'll be looking at bringing their assets in a lot. However, they do have a nice game week 25 and 26 fixtures. So if you want some security over some upcoming game weeks, you could look at options like Lookman, or if you have an Areola, simply just play him. There could be a potential there maybe against Burnley for a clean sheet. And then finally with Everton, I probably would only be looking at attacking option like Calvert-Lewin or Richarlison because you want to target that Fulham fixture. I think against Man City, from a defensive point of view, you're never going to be backing a side that faces Man City. So maybe a Lucas Digne could be on your bench, or you could simply play him and hope that he absolutely bangs against Fulham. So I think that Everton vs Fulham game is basically what you're going to be targeting. So basically just predict how you think that game will go. If you think it's going to be high scoring, then favor the attackers. If you think it's going to be low scoring, but with the Everton clean sheet, then Lucas Digne is a perfectly safe option. So now going on to the wild card, I promised that I'll be talking about the wild card. So the thing about these best teams video is I think a lot of people think they're going to be a wild card draft, so they might be a little bit disappointed. So I won't be going over a wild card team per se, but I will tell you exactly what you should be doing if you are planning to wild card in double game week 24. You can use this advice for game week 25, 26, wherever you want to use it, because the upcoming game weeks shouldn't change that much. So if you are wild carding in double game week 24, your eyes should be glued to not only Twitter, but also to those FA Cup fixtures happening this week. Why I'm saying that is that the FA Cup fixtures this week are going to say who blanks in game week 29 and also who's going to be doubling in game week 26. Now, game week 26 is not a certainty. A game week 29 is a certainty because whoever loses or wins this week will or won't have a fixture in blank game week 29, but then those fixtures moving to 26 isn't a certainty. So what I've done here is I've gone to Ben Crellin's Twitter and taken his latest image of his transfer planner. So go follow Ben Crellin out. I continuously shout him out whenever we do double and blank game week videos because he's just kind of the guru behind predicting when the doubles and blanks will take place. So what he's done here is he's had likely game weeks for double game week 26. So you can look at these fixtures and you can kind of take them like gospel because that pretty much should be what's happening. So why I'm saying this with the FA Cup fixtures is that we won't necessarily get news about the double game week 26, but if you're using your wild card in double game week 24, you have to prepare for that blank game week because you don't have a wild card after game week 29 to suddenly bring all those options in that blanked for the remainder of the season. And say a team like Man City, Liverpool and Spurs all blank and you take out all their players, you're definitely going to want to bring them back in. So what I would do is I would monitor the situation with the FA Cup games and then I would focus on the double game week 26 and the double game week 29. I know you could argue that game week 24 and 25 are certainties, so we know those double game weeks are going to go ahead, but I think double game week 26 has an absolute potential for a mega game week and I definitely would be looking at that. So use your transfers and your wild card for as late as possible, get as much news on those blanks and those double as possible before activating your transfers, probably on Saturday morning if you can. So finally, going on to my best team for double game week 24. The formation here is a little bit of a weird one. It's kind of a modular system. What I've done is because we've had absolutely so much money in the bank, I've gone for some really good bench options. So my preferable formation here would be a 3-5-2. So it's a little bit of a weird formation there. I know the defenses have been absolute titans this week and there's been a lot of points coming from the defense, but I think a 3-5-2 in this situation could lead to do some good returns. So the three in defense that I'm talking about is going to be Lowton, me, and then also Nick Pope. So I've gone for a triple up in that Burnley defense. If you don't like the triple up, simply just play Lucas Digne or Soufal. Remember, Soufal does have a nice single game week fixture against Sheffield United, and I'm really backing West Ham to get a clean sheet in that one. So you could just simply swap out Lowton for Soufal or Lowton for Digne, whoever you favor. But I've also gone for Diaz here, as I think he's more of a assured option over those two game weeks. I'm really hoping that that's a guaranteed 100 180 minutes over a player like Cancelo, who we might see some rotation with all the fullbacks coming back from injury. The midfield is also quite exciting there. I've gone for Rashford and Fernandes double up in the midfield to kind of counteract the lack of premium options, the lack of Spurs options, Liverpool options. I've gone for Rashford and Fernandes here because of that lovely fixture that Man United have against West Brom, and I am actually favouring them from a single gaming point of view for maybe even the captaincy. My Man City double up in the midfield is going to be Gundogan and Sterling. I just think that that's kind of a no-brainer there. You could go for someone like Foden, but there is the rotation risk. But the thing with Foden is that if he plays, he usually bangs. So that could be some security if you want to go for the young English midfielder. And then Souček is going to finally combo that midfield. I'm just going for Souček, as I know Antonio could be an option you look at, but just from a budget point of view, I wanted to go for Souček here. The nice thing that I have included here is I've gone for Ollie Watkins. The simple reason is that Ollie Watkins and Antonio are a similar price. So if you don't want Souček, just swap them out. Go for someone like Lookman, and then you could just swap out Ollie Watkins for Antonio. So if you favor Antonio over Souček, just go for that. I'm simply just choosing this because I think from an attacking point of view, I think that West Ham might be a little bit more effective over those set pieces against Sheffield United more than from open play. So if you monitor this weekend, Antonio does get a rest in the FA Cup. I probably would favor Antonio over Souček just because he is more of an out-and-out striker. But at the current moment, with that red card rescinded, I think that Souček could also fit into the lineup. Then finally, the forward line is going to be Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. I am favouring that Everton double game week against Fulham. Are you really targeting that Fulham fixture? And then what I'm hoping for maybe against Man City, we could see some counter-attacks, and then Calvert-Lewin or Richarlison should definitely be involved. So I know this lineup is a little bit muddled here. I try to focus as much as possible on those double game week sides. If you like Fulham assets, you could also fit them in here. Maybe look at Lookman and Antonio instead of Watkins and Souček. I think that could be a very viable alternative to Souček and Watkins. Or you can simply just rotate your defense. If you want to bring a Cancelo in instead of a Sterling, you could look at that. But the reason why I have Sterling in this lineup is because in terms of my best captaincy option going into double game week 24, Raheem Sterling takes the armband. So that if I had to captain any player in double game week 24, that's who I would be going for. From a prediction point of view, basically predicted to score the most points on every single website. And I think that you have to go with a Man City asset, as a double for Man City usually equals FPL points. So this is basically a wrap up the video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like it if you did, and subscribe if you're new or have not subscribed yet. I'll be checking you guys tomorrow for the preview, and then the following day for the team selection of my own squad. I'll be also checking you guys on my Twitter at DayvyFPL, and I'll be signing off. It's been DayvyFPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.